Hello, welcome to another Gundam Battle Operation 2 video. That is the limited mission suit that we had on Halloween, the Gigan space type, which most people know it as the sleeves type Gigan. And yeah, since we've been getting a bunch of suits, we had this suit, the limited mission suits with the Nero trainer coming out, and then we had the Gogu JN, and then the Code Fairy stuff coming in. I've been haven't been keeping up on trying to get these new suits talked about and all that. This one's not going to be a initial thoughts because I'm pretty sure most people have already send out their thought. It wouldn't be initial thoughts anymore. It's been a week or two, so so this is just going to be me talking about the Geek and Space type and how I feel about it. And it's a okay suit. I don't think it's the best thing. It does have some good things about it and some interesting things, I guess. For one, this is a 250. The original Gigan is a 200, and this one's definitely an upgrade. It's 250, 50 points. I would have liked to see this thing be at 300 and maybe gain some other stuff, but we'll talk about that. But yeah, you get pretty much the same weapons as the Gigan, besides a slower firing Gatling gun. I do wish this thing had a faster firing Gatling. For me, it just feels kind of weird trying to how do I put this? With the Gigan, you can put up a lot of pressure with its fast-firing Gatling gun, and because you're shooting faster, that's more chances to hit people. This thing, it's like duh, 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 duh. Because of the slower firing speed, a lot of people can sidewind it. What the fuck? Sidewind it, especially in space, because in space you can just boost wherever the fuck you want, pretty much. So definitely not my favorite Gatling to use. I wish it was kind of like the Drosy Heavies, where it will rapid fire. If somebody's standing still, they will get melted. But even if they're moving, you still kind of damage them a lot. This thing does have good damage. I mean, don't get me wrong, but yeah. I mentioned before, same headcanon as the Gigan. Actually, I think it might do a little bit different damage, but it's good for just hitting people, getting a good little chunk of damage. Over 2,000 at least on generals, and it's decent. And then you have Vulcans, which is again same as the other Gigan, and it actually does stun relatively fast, and I do like that. The only problem is you have to get really close for the Vulcans because they are Vulcans, and that can be quite tricky when you're fighting suits that have bazookas or people that can get up in your face, pretty much. And that's going to be quite a problem for the Gigan space type because it is a pretty big boy. It's got those big juicy thighs, as people like to joke around with it about. And also I'm using this in a kind of a closer range space map, so it's not dark space. I haven't even got a chance to play this in dark space because it's always this or Derelict Colony, and I really wish I would have gotten dark space or the asteroid map, satellite. There we go, because I feel like that would probably benefit the suit a lot more. Although it still have the problems I think it would have. Then for the melee, you have pretty much the same Gigan's claw arm. I'm pretty sure it's actually the same damage-wise and all that. The only difference is you have a downswing that I can kind of compare it to the Draw C's, where you do a thrust forward. You can actually use it for mobility, which is quite nice. So you can get some pretty memey, I guess that's how you would say it. A May downswing off on somebody. You'll see me try to do that, try to get the meme hit on, but it fails quite often because it's kind of got a little bit of a tiny hitbox. It is throwing out a single little tiny fist, but yeah, you can see me doing it right now and fucking missing. But yeah, you can definitely use that as mobility, and maybe if somebody gets a stun off, you can try and combo with it. Although you're probably better off just using your head cannon there and maybe getting some damage off with your Gatling gun. But yeah, it's playing it so far. Yeah, it's also got force injectors. I forgot to mention that force injectors, and it is missing the balancers that the original Gigan has, but this thing has space AMBAC 2 or AMBAC level 2, and I believe you just get balancers anyway with that when you're in space, so it has it. And yeah, so the Gigan space type, it's okay. I feel like there's supports that can definitely do a lot more. This thing has some pretty weak resistances, which I believe would get it toasted. 0 melee defense, and I believe 4 beam resistance. So definitely a lot of room for Rage to just utterly fuck this thing up. One of my biggest worries about this suit was the Draw C in my stream about the Halloween update. And yeah, I was right. The Draw C does totally just fuck this thing over, especially with this low health. I believe it has less than, yeah, you can see right there, 9,000 health. I believe it's 9,500, but yeah, not the greatest for handling, trying to get itself out of situations where people are stunning it. This is probably one of those suits I feel like would probably benefit from having maneuver armor. One of the few supports I'd think, that's, I wouldn't say give maneuver armor to every support, but this is definitely one of those suits that I would feel like would probably justify it because it is such a big suit, and it's at a cost where bazookas are just the thing. Even though this thing does have 20 ballistic resistance, or at least a good chunk of ballistic resistance, this thing's health will just guarantee people are going to walk up and hit you after they stun you. That's just how low cost is, how this game is anyway. And yeah, you're not going to live that long. So the 20 ballistic resistance is almost just nullified, in my opinion, unless you're fighting a bunch of people that are using machine guns, but hardly anybody does nowadays, unless it's, again, like I mentioned, the Draw C. Yeah, raids will definitely eat this thing up. But the thing is, this thing does do some good damage against generals. I do like that. The only problem is trying to lock down a general. The head cannon can be a little bit weird to aim for people who aren't used to firing cannons in space, especially, it's 200 or 250, so a lot of people aren't accustomed to 250, especially 250 space, so that might be a little bit for people to try to, a little bit harder for people to try to get into, if they try to play shoulder cannon suits in the, low cost space. So just be aware of that, keep that in mind. But yeah, it does do good damage, and wow, man, I'm just missing all the shots. If somebody's flying or moving sideways, you're not going to be hitting with that Gatling gun. It does have some good range, 400 range, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, it does the job fine. I can't really hate it too much. I think it could be a little bit better. I think it should have been a 300 cost, and they should have added a little bit more to this suit. Because if you do remember, this thing is in Unicorn, and I feel like this doesn't show me why it would be in Unicorn. The Draw C is in Unicorn, I believe, or maybe it was NT, one of those. And you could, in this game, you can see why it would still be used quite often. It does have some pretty devastating melee damage. It 2-taps supports at its own cost, and it does have some pretty good, acceleration, and just good at keeping the pressure up. It's good hit and run tactics. You can see it being used. This suit, it's like, I don't know why I would want to pick. If you were the motherfucker that got picked to be in the sleeves, or you join the sleeves, they give you this suit, you're dead. Yeah, you're just dead. Oh man, look at that active hitbox. Yeah, that was a clash. That thing lasts a while, that downswing. So keep that in mind if you're going to be using that. But yeah, timeout. We'll see what we got going on here. Hey, mission completed. Good old poses, and we'll see what we got. Hey, top assist and Honey. I forgot to mention I was playing with Honey. He got top individual and top damage because he is the Draw C. Draw Cs will mulch at 200 and 250. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and praise him. I believe I praised somebody else. I just don't remember who. Maybe I already passed it. Okay, yeah, GM Kai, GM, one of those. And yeah, third place, 5-4. Definitely not the best score because 5-4. I die. That's 1-to-1 in almost every kill. But I did get some good damage and assist and individual, so I'm fine with that. This suit is a fine support, although I feel like there are other supports that might be better at this. I believe Salty Walty mentioned the Space Assault GM cannon, which that one actually has a beam weapon on it, which will take full advantage of this suit and any other suits that have lower beam resistances, which is quite a few at these lower costs. And honestly, to me, this suit might be one of those suits. It might have an AG situation going on where the AG seemed like a very, very strong suit when it came out, but nowadays it can get focused pretty hard. That thing has almost no beam resistance at all, and people will bring beams to maps with them, or into sorties with them, just to counter an ag, and it does a lot of damage. The ag just gets hard countered nowadays because people are just prepared to double on it. Double, triple, whatever. They get the ag out of the match pretty much. And this suit is probably going to have a more worse time about that, because now people are probably going to be more aware of that. Okay, lower beam resistance. All right, so I'm going to be packing a beam gun, and they'll be packing the beam gun, and then or the draw C, because I did mention before the draw C will be the bane of this thing's existence, and it is. And yeah, but it's still okay. It fits into the cost, I should say. Although I do feel like it should have been a little bit better. Maybe give it a little bit more thruster gauge. Give it a faster firing Gatling gun. Put it at 300 cost. Give it a little bit better stats, right? But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe if you want. I'd really appreciate it. And, type up in the comment section how you feel about the Gigan space type. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I like the look of the suit, and I do, I like the Gigan. I do wish this thing was just a tad bit better. And I feel like it's just going to get, as I said before, mulched eventually. It's going to suffer. But it's still pretty fun to play, especially if you get those cheeky downswings off. And as I mentioned before, I am working on the Code Fairy suits. I believe, as I am speaking right now, and when this video is released, there will already be a video of the Sniper 2, well, a testing out video. And I believe I'm working on hard mode right now to get the Zaku, the half cannon Zaku, the general one. Which I'm really interested in both of those suits. The Sniper looks like it might be interesting. The General definitely has a new skill on it, which is pretty cool. And I still haven't made one on the high mobility ground type Zaku, the AS. I haven't even played a 350 match yet. But from what everybody's told me, from what I've seen in my own two eyes, it looks like a very powerful raid. And I do hope that Bandai or BB Studios are taking a look at lower cost and trying to make it a little bit more quicker paced. Not really the word I'm looking for. Maybe a little bit better. Because right now, a lot of people have pointed out that it seems like you just rock the bazooka going for a melee downswing. There's your 200, 250, I wish there's a few outliers, like the Cold Districts types, or, like the Gigan, as I mentioned before. They're definitely trying something, and then they released the Zanny, which does... it's only good because it has that 180mm cannon, but that's still something. They're trying to do something with the lower cost, so I'm hoping maybe we get a little bit of a buff overall of these lower cost suits. We start seeing balancers getting passed around. The GM and the Zaku should be getting dodge rolls, in my opinion. I feel like they should start making these lower costs a little bit more snappier to play. Because if you take a look at the Gundam anime and then you look at these suits and then you look at the cutscenes in Code Fairy, it doesn't quite match up, But hopefully they'll do that. Maybe we'll get some more suits. One of the suits I'm hoping they'll do is like the Jurek, which is kind of like a a prototype GOG. It's amphibious suit. I like amphibious suits. So hopefully we can see that. And yeah, with that, I will see you guys later. Bye.
Oh god, I can't believe. Well, that fucking killed. I'm pretty sure that's the camo who just fucking killed me again. Okay, no, it was Zaku 1. I was gonna say, he had a fucking hate boner. That fucking angle I just had of him getting downswung.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, I did not actually have the hit on him. I just went for it.